Hi everyone. Here we are with the Liquid Kudos team today at Summerhill Pyramid Winery in beautiful Kelowna, BC. We have some welcome rain today in our valley, and so we are indoors with Michael Alexander, the winemaker, and Joey, the general manager. Many of our club members likely know that Summerhill follows organic growing practices. No herbicides or pesticides, keeps the vineyard and lake clean and grapes chemical free. At Liquid Kudos, we love that your wines are allowing nature to speak for herself. I live in the neighborhood, so I visit often with family, friends, and guests to enjoy meals from fondues to pizzas and beautiful pasta dishes. I love that we get to experience and share the unique experience of visiting an organic, biodynamic, and vegan-friendly winery. Michael, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what your background is?
I'm originally from Calgary, born and raised. Grew up in a wine-loving family. My dad had wine, fridges full, collected wine over the years, and once upon a time I was going to follow in his footsteps and be an accountant, which was a failed endeavor. Turns out debits and credits and budgets and P&L statements are not my cup of tea, but I took a wine course and absolutely fell in love with wine. My parents had a summer home here, so I came out for a summer to work in the wine shop and learn more about BC wine. Fell in love, went off to winemaking school, and I've been here since. So 12 years later, Summerhill is home, and BC is home, and Kelowna is home.
Wonderful. Well, we're lucky to have you. So, what education do you have related to winemaking?
So I went to Niagara College out in Niagara in Ontario, and have a diploma in winemaking from there.
And can you tell us which varietal is currently the most interesting to you and why? And maybe touch on a little bit about the red wine program that you're launching.
That's a tough question. They're all my children, so I love them all, some more than others, but publicly I love them all. I really like working with Chardonnay because it's so versatile, and it's a grape that shows all the decisions that we make, and every small decision we make makes the final product, makes the final wine. And so Chardonnay is a lot of fun because you can do everything from really crisp, austere style to big and oaky and buttery, or you can do bubble, you can do ice wine, and so Chardonnay is a lot of fun just because of the versatility with it. But the last few years we've really revamped our red wine program. In 2014 we installed these beautiful 10,000 liter oak fermenters. We have 9 of them, and we do almost all of our red ferments in these tanks. So during harvest we clean them all up, we make sure they're in great condition, we bring the fruit in, we destem it, put them into the tanks, we pump over once a day, so we're not really harsh on them, but we still get some great extraction. And then we put the wines after pressing off into neutral oak barrels. So the idea is we're trying to produce wines that are a little bit more fruit forward, a little bit more approachable young, have a little bit better balance, a little tannin structure. And these oak fermenters, along with a more neutral oak program, allows that fruit to shine, allows the terroir to shine. And I think we're really starting to show wines that speak to where they come from and the growers that grew them.
Wonderful. There's so many of your red wines I love so much. I know I wouldn't be able to answer that question myself, from the Syrah, the Baco Noir, the Fauche. Can you tell us a little bit about the Baco Noir and why it's so different from vintage to vintage?
For sure. So Baco is a grape that used to be grown abundantly in the Okanagan. It was part of the bulk jug wine program, and then in the 80s when free trade came in, growers were paid, I think it was $6,000 an acre or $10,000 an acre to pull out the Baco Noir, plant apple trees or other fruit trees. We were really fortunate that one of our neighbors just down the road, Elmer Ides, decided to keep it. So we have a single vineyard, Baco Noir. It grows absolutely beautiful here in the South Kelowna slopes. And it's a grape that really shows the vintage. So in warmer years, we get these really ripe, really big, bold flavors. And in the cooler years, that acid shines through. And so it's different year to year because we allow it to express itself based on the vintage. I think it's really important that when you make wine, that it's not just a generic product, that it doesn't just taste like red wine or white wine or pink wine, that it tastes like where it came from, and who grew it, and what the vintage looked like. So years like this year, it's nice and hot throughout the summer. We get a really great start, and then things start to cool down, so we're gonna get really nice acids. So with the heat, we'll get these beautiful ripe fruits. With the cool nights and the cooler temperatures coming, we're gonna get beautiful acids. And so it's gonna be different than last year because the weather's different, the climate's different. And so the Back Noir really shows that, and we really like to celebrate that.
Wonderful. Are there any other reds in your red wine program that you wanted to highlight?
Oh, thank you, Joey. Costume change. I think, what are we drinking? Sorry. Cabernet Franc. Oh, cool. Awesome. 2019 Cabernet Franc. So we have this beautiful vineyard down in Clean, our Esther vineyard. It's about 5-7 minutes south of Penticton. And our vineyard manager, Olivier, just has a knack for growing Cabernet Franc. The site's right on the water, sitting up on a bluff. So we get a really long growing season because we get the regulating effect of Skaha Lake. And it grows absolutely stunning Cabernet Franc. We get a little bit of those pyrazines if we want, but we get that beautiful minerality, that graphite, dark fruits. So the Cabernet Franc that we're able to put out thanks to the hard work of Olivier is absolutely stunning. So it's definitely a must try if you're a red wine fan.
And if you've done your training in Ontario, you know how different the Cabernet Francs from our region taste compared to the Cabernet Francs in Ontario.
Absolutely. It's like two different grapes. But I'm partial to BC Cabernet Franc, obviously.
Well, thank you very much.